The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
Yes, I do whisper. Sorry about that, folks. News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. And on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you can post your comments whether you agree with yours truly or not. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio. We're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show. Mama, be good. What do you mean my bottled water isn't good? Healthy? Excuse me. It's perfectly healthy. I know why Mama Be Good is chiding me for drinking bottled water on cam, because there's a story on the blog today about how the government wants to regulate bottled water. Yes, they actually found something that they have not regulated. So now they have to regulate bottled water. Now, I think the truth of the matter is they get this water out of the tap just like, you and I get water out of the tap that's already regulated. So now they get to regulate the same water twice. When it comes through the tap, and then when they bottle it. They really want to put these guys out of business. That's exactly what they're trying to do. And of course, they want to, justify their own existence, those bureaucrats in Washington. So they have to have something else to regulate. I mean, what is there not in our lives? What is there in our lives that is not regulated? Don't say it out loud. Somebody from Washington may be paying attention to the show, and they'll go out and they'll regulate it right away. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, while I'm on the subject of Washington and incompetency and ineptness in government, the Government Accounting Office here in the United States decided to check the security at federal buildings across the country. Just yesterday my niece was in town for a short visit to New York, and I was walking around the city, and I took her over to Lower Manhattan to Foley Square. And for those of you who are uninitiated in that area, there are city, state, and federal buildings, like unbelievable, the number of city, state, and federal buildings. And a lot of them date back to World War II, and the architecture is very ornate. Maybe we would have liked to, during this trip, go in and look at the beautiful architecture of the building, but in each building you'd have to wait a half an hour to get through security. They got these long lines to get in, and we just didn't have time for that. Now it turns out that they managed, these inspectors, to sneak bombs into 10 federal buildings. I'm not kidding you. And this is how they did it. They brought the bombs in pieces. They brought the materials for the bombs in. Ran them through the X-ray. The guys went through all the packages, and they missed them. Probably if somebody came in with a cell phone that was on, and it was a federal courthouse, they made them check their cell phone and turn the cell phone off. That they could catch. But the bombs they couldn't catch. In each of the cases, not only did they bring the materials for the bombs in through security, but then right there in the building, they found a place, I don't know whether it was a men's room or a ladies' room or out in the open, who knows. And they assembled the bombs, and they walked around with the bombs all day long, and nobody challenged them. 10 buildings. Now, here's the sad reality about what I just said to you, folks. These guys and gals in Washington will do nothing about this, even though every single member of Congress received the report. They will do, I predict, nothing about it. You know when they might take notice? God forbid a bomb goes off inside a federal building. And then they'll hold congressional hearings, and they'll haul this person in front of Congress and that person in front of Congress, and they'll admonish them. Too late once the blood is, running down the halls of a building. I mean, can anybody say Oklahoma City? Have we not learned anything from that situation? Pretty pathetic. The other story also has to do with government ineptness. Yesterday, I wrote a story on the blog about a guy who was released from Guantanamo Bay detention facility. Now, there was no question in anybody's mind that he was a Taliban fighter because he surrendered to U.S. troops in Afghanistan. When they release them, to whose custody do they release them? Anyone? Anyone want to take a guess? Whose custody did they release this Afghan terrorist to? Not directly, Mark. Not directly to the Taliban. The Afghan government. That is correct, proud military mom. You get a gold star. They released him to the Afghan government, who a year later decided, well, we don't want to feed and clothe this guy, and they let him go. Guess what he is doing now? Guess what he is doing now? No, he's not suing. He is a commander in the Taliban, directing the Taliban terrorists to kill American troops in Afghanistan. That was yesterday's story. And by the way, I shocked a few people. I suggested to the troops in Afghanistan, if they get a hold of this guy again, don't take him into custody. Kill him. Kill him. Because obviously, we and our so-called allies don't know how to keep him incarcerated so he doesn't kill us in return. Kill him. But now, let me tell you the other side of this story. You know that the president has decided, because everybody around the world is so up in arms about the way we've treated the prisoners in Guantanamo Bay, and there is some rising evidence that they were on a fairly regular basis mistreated. There's also a story yesterday that I think we touched on momentarily during yesterday's show about a guy who was released and wants the evidence, the pictures taken, the video captured of their treatment of him saved. Whether they should be released or not is another issue, because it